Ian Bell. It's all of the handling of Project Cars 2 and more, with tyre wear removed. So it's absolutely a sim. In a market awash with lots of hardcore sims, we felt it was time that people had a simulation and had fun at the same time. This is the crap that people are hating you for. You are putting us down for the same shit you enjoyed in the first two Project Cars. People like hardcore sims. People like arcade games. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Simracing podcast, episode 3. It's been over a month since the last episode, and apologies about that. So just wanted to quickly let you know, if you want to become a long-time listener, we're up to the third episode, but plans are to keep doing this for a long time to come. The reason for that is, if you don't know me very well, I do have chronic pain, so that affects a lot of things in my life, and that includes recording podcasts. So the best way for me to do things is to do things when I can, and I haven't really had a good month. But in saying that, there's also been a lot of sim racing news that I wanted to report, but because I took so long, is old news now. So the plan from after this episode onwards is to do shorter episodes, but hopefully more often. So as soon as I see news, I can quickly record a clip or two, my first reaction to it, share the news with you, and get it out there. Whether or not they are both video and audio, I haven't really figured out. We'll do both to begin with, but I know there are both audio and video listeners. So yeah, this will probably be the last hour-length, in-depth show for a while. Doesn't mean we won't do in-depth topics come the future, but this will be the last 45-minute plus episode. But knowing me, I'll probably manage to make the small episodes long anyway, just we talk about less things, but in more detail. Anyway, let me know what you think. Sorry about the delay, and let's get into all of the stuff that's been happening over August and September that I think is still relevant. Let's talk. And we went through the historical prices in the last episode, but it looks like prices are jumping a little bit. The Series S is closer to last gen's release price. The Series X, though, isn't. And it's, the higher level, you'll get the better graphics and everything out of it. So that's the one we're going to go off. So $750 or $799 NZ means a lot better computer, and that's a lot of money for console. So I haven't done the PC build because the pricing you're going to have to pay for a new console has changed. Means the hardware that we can now get access to changes for that. I will probably still do the cheaper build because I said it was possible, so I'm going to still try to do it. But this means we need to compare it price to price. So that is it. And I still don't know what the PS4 is. So until we know what the PS4 price is, I can't really do a comparison. But rest assured when it happens. So let me know what you guys think of sim racing on console for the next gen. Are you gonna just bite the bullet and stay with what you know, for whatever reason that is, or are you maybe getting a little bit more in depth into it, a little bit more hardcore, and are you going PC? I'd really like to hear. So let me know in the comments, wherever that is, YouTube, Spotify. I'd love to hear your comments. Next up, I thought this was a pretty good tweet to talk about because when the GT4s came to PC, everybody loved them. Everybody talked about them, thought it was the best thing in the world. It's clear to see that people just like the choice, even if they're going to use it or not. If they're just given that choice, it's better. But regardless if, like I said, they're going to race with them or not, as you can see, 40% are absolutely loving them. Almost 40%, 38%, so another third back to the GT3s. 14% tried them once, so basically back to the GT3s. and only 9% are probably mainly their main driver are the GT4s. So that's very interesting. There was so much hype about GT4s. Clearly, we're GT3 lovers. It's what can you say? I'm not sure if the console's got them yet. So, yeah, I don't know if this will translate to the console world. I'd like to know. But very interesting statistic that's been put out there in the world. Some more news in the gaming space. Motorsport games. You've probably heard a lot more of motorsport games lately. They're going to drop the NASCAR Heat name for the NASCAR game franchise in 2021. Start fresh with a new title as part of a start from scratch rebuild of the game software. And apparently they're also in talks for an IndyCar game. So that's a British touring car game, new NASCAR game that's not going to be Heat at all, and a new IndyCar game. So, and I think they're going to be more on the casual side, but that's fine. These titles have their sim counterparts, unlike F1. So what Motorsport does here, Motorsport Games does with these is going to be very interesting. Everybody is obviously keen for the British touring car game, but yeah, if you wanted to get into NASCAR and you didn't really like the Heat series, got some good news for you. You might have a more casual NASCAR title coming your way. And here's another talk of it happening. NASCAR Heat, getting rid of that name. They keep saying we're rebuilding it from the ground up. And obviously IndyCar talks as well. This one is about the new VCO Pro Sim Series. They're going to be using the Dallara F3, the car, if you're watching video on your screen right now. This game is in iRacing. It's going to be running between November 2020 and February 2021. There's going to be the likes of Felix da Costa, Rubens Barrichello, Timo Glock participating. There's a $50,000 prize pool, 8 events for the series. Now, there are 40 drivers that will be participating. Each of those drivers will be paired up with an esports driver. So I don't know if there's 20 real-world drivers, 20 esport drivers. I couldn't decipher what they were saying in this article. But the way it's going to run, basically 8 events. At the start of the broadcast, there will be a 40-driver fun race. So they're obviously just going to have fun on an unannounced track. Then there will be then we'll get into the serious race again with the 40 drivers all paired up. So 20 going from the real world to the esport drivers as they swap stints along the way. The tracks will only be known 2 hours before, as they will be picked on Twitter, and fans will be able to listen in on the radios on Discord, which is kind of interesting. So they've gone a little bit of a different route. There's also going to be wildcard entries through the season that won't get points or cash because of the $50,000 prize pool, but we will see them enter the competition nonetheless, just to spice things up. Now, obviously, this is happening because in esports we can, try these things without a huge cost to an organization or a category, because it costs money to get cars to places. This way they can just run the series and try different things as we go and see what works and what doesn't. It says on the article as well, the Esports Racing Team Association, or the ERTA, was involved in issuing the starting places available to the esport races. Each of the 12 ERTA teams were invited to nominate a certain number of drivers. The remaining places will be assigned to the fastest drivers in the iRacing community in an open qualifying process at the end of October. So there you go, we can all actually participate, which is good to see. So it's the VCO Pro Sim Series in the Dallara F3, again trying something a little bit different. And it's not the only competition that is trying something a little bit different. But yeah, back to, I don't know, it seems to have been the award season in the gaming world, but I thought this one was interesting to you guys out there. Dr. Julian Tan, he's the head of esports for F1, he said, Formula One won the best use of esports by a sports brand at last night's 2020 Sports Tech Awards. Huge thanks to Sport Tech Group for the terrific recognition. It's an honour to be acknowledged by the industry. So, yeah, best use of an esports sports brand. I don't know what that means. How else are you meant to use an esports sports brand other than the way they did it? I don't know. They're just patting each other on the back. I don't know how these things work at all. But congratulations regardless. You did well. Even though I think there were things they did learn and things I did criticize them for. But well done. All right. Now I was talking about other leagues that are happening. This one is the V10R League. You can go to the website v10rleague.com. But what is it? And what's it all about? It's on rFactor 2, so the competing platform, you could say, to iRacing. It's already underway at the moment. There are 8 pro teams, 24 drivers, 3 drivers a team, and they do different stints as well. 28 matches head-to-head. So if you're those of you playing at home, prize pool $100,000 pounds, GBP. That always wrecks me when I read it, but sterling pounds. Participating teams, you can see there's some very big names in there. I'll read it out for the audio listeners. We've got the Red Bull Racing Esports Sim team. We've got the BMW Motorsports Simracing team. We've got BWT Racing Point Esports. We've got Williams, Team Fordzilla, the JASA Team Suzuki. Hopefully I said that right. Porsche 24 Redline and Yas Heat. Format, it says it right here. Each team will play each other once. Each match will feature 3 unique sprint challenges. Challenges will to include a new level of team strat. All points won will go towards the league standings. This is how things stand after day 2. Williams ahead of Yas Heat. BMW 3-0 against the Team Suzuki. Porsche Team Redline obviously beaten Fordzilla. And Red Bull Racing, interestingly, got beaten by the BWT Racing Point team. They're on Assetto Corsa. Did I say rFactor 2? I meant Assetto Corsa. Sorry about that. Yeah, so driving on Assetto Corsa. They're using a V10 F1 style car. 7 tracks from the iconic history to modern state-of-the-art circuits have all been chosen. It's a new V10 single-seater, but it looks like it sounds like an old V10, but designed in a new way. The power unit, a V10, 900 brake horsepower engine capable of speeds of 220 miles an hour, designed for passionate race fans. This is my issue with this league, though. One, not a lot of you have probably heard about it, because the only reason I know about it is because I look for this stuff. This is how you watch it. It says broadcast and digital viewing. The V10R League action can be viewed via a host of broadcast and digital platforms, with BT Sport, ESPN, and Stars Play Arabia, our official broadcast partners. Now that's awesome. Now I know that they sold this product to those broadcasting companies sight unseen. I've been listening to some marketing podcasts to get some information on it, because there's not a lot out there. And yeah, these guys bought this sight unseen after COVID. You know, somehow they were able to sell it to them. So yeah, they've got BT Sport in the UK and Ireland, ESPN3 in the United States, Stars Play Arabia, and Facebook the rest of the world. It says races posted daily from Tuesday to Friday each week. They're not there. Let's check it right now. Now, I saw one race, I think. So 293 people following. But I can't look. We read that right, guys? Didn't we? Races posted. I'll zoom in if you're watching the video. Says it right there. Facebook. Races posted daily from Tuesday to Friday each week at 5 p.m. And we saw there was clearly results. This is why I don't know what's happening with this league. Behind the scenes, V10R League Cinematics playlist. That's fine. Yaz Heat versus Jace's Team Suzuki. We got that one. We got V10 I-League Porsche 24 versus Redline. Oh, they are there. They are there. They just don't seem to post them. I don't know what it is. There's no thumbnails on them. I just thought they were clips. This is the problem I have with sim racing at the moment, and I know I'm also, what's the word? Guilty of this too. But I'm really trying to fix that. Sim racing, we are so bad at advertising new and exciting things. How many of you that are listening to me now have heard of this until today? I'd really like to know. I haven't. Usually I see updates of these things through the week as I am purposefully checking for this news. I didn't know these races were there. So I have seen one. I really wasn't impressed a lot. I didn't think it was that great. No offense. It's got Nick Hamilton and Ben Daly. No offense, guys. I just wasn't a fan of... I don't know if it's their chemistry. They haven't worked together. I just wasn't a fan of the commentary team. And as a commentator, it sounds like me bashing them. They're not bad commentators. I get it myself sometimes when I work with new people. Sometimes you got to learn to bounce off each other, especially if you don't know them. It's hard to, I don't know, the chemistry that'll build obviously, but at the moment it was a bit of a turn off. And I'm not a huge fan of these head-to-head races where they're just one-on-one. Like, that's not that exciting, is it? Anyway, looks like there's a few more cars out on track here. So as you can see, if you're watching the video, this is the V10 car. It's a professional broadcast. But we have a big issue in sim racing where we're just not very good at advertising what we're doing, posting the results, keeping people informed, making that content. That's why I'm trying to give you guys highlights and everything as well.
Teams will join us over 4 matchups. These contests contain 3 rounds of racing: the head-to-head, the relay race, and a team race.
Okay, so that's what the third one is.
Head-to-head will see 3 mini battles as the teams put each of their drivers up against a driver from the opposing team. These pairings will then race off over 1, 2, or 3 laps, dependent on the
these one-on-ones I'm not a massive fan of.
Takes the point for that round.
But maybe people are. That's why they're doing it.
More risks if they're behind, knowing that if they lose that leg, the next driver can keep them in it. In the relay, the teams will again pair their drivers up against each other, but after each stint on the track, the drivers will enter the pits and swap over. Each team must also use a joker lap, meaning one driver does an extra trip around the circuit. They can take this at any time, and the choice of when and who the teams choose will likely be the difference between a win or a loss.
That's an interesting concept. The
joker
lap.
Takes the point.
So you got to pick obviously your fastest driver.
A multi-lap race that will see people earn points for where they position at the end. 10 points for first, 6 for second, 4 for
nothing
third,
wrong with a team
3 for
race.
fourth,
I
2
think
for fifth, and
we
1
should try and explore that more in esports. So I can get on board with the team race.
Prior to racing, the drivers will all individually set qualifying times.
So yeah, that's actually a really good explanation of what happens in this series. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the one-on-ones, and that second one's just the relay race, technically just a one-on-one, but we do driver swaps. So yeah, look, I don't want to bash them for trying something new, but I really don't think this is... I don't know, is that going to play well on broadcast TV for an audience that is just getting into sim racing? I'm all for trying different things. I'm not sure that's exciting enough. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And that's... I don't know. Let me know. There's obviously going to be people that like it because of it's like Ben Daly, Tiamadek, he does the F1 content, and Nick Hamilton. And if you're doing it, again, I've got nothing. But for me, I don't enjoy it, so I can't. And I haven't heard any other opinion on it because I've not heard anyone else talk about it, because we're really bad at telling everyone about what's happening in the world of sim racing. So let me know what you think. Go have a look at their stuff, and yeah, be interesting to hear your thoughts too. All right, well, it's a busy time. This was the R Factor series I was talking about instead of AC with the V10. It's a busy time for a new esports series. The announcement of the RCCO World EX Championship. It's an 1,000 electric horsepower will be unleashed, while hashtag racing for the climate. What is it? It's a 1,000 horsepower electric car. There will be 10 teams that go head to head. What is it with these goddamn new sim series? That's 3 now that want head to head racing. F1 tried it. I didn't think it was that fun. Okay, there will be 10 pros, which should hopefully help people get eyes on it. There'll be 10. It says here 10 gamer. I don't like that term, because the gamer guys they're going to invite are going to be sim racing professionals. So it should be 10 real world pros, 10 esport professionals, and then there are 20 wildcards. So you can obviously qualify for this. And hashtag racing for the climate. And at the end of its trailer, it said on an exciting new platform and had a picture of a mobile phone. I think this is a mobile game. I haven't been able to confirm that, but that's what the trailer said to me. So this could be a new mobile game. That has piqued my interest. I've got nothing against esports and sim racing. It's hard to call it sim racing when it's on the mobile, I know. But, you know, racing esports on a mobile, that's interesting, because there's a massive market there, and it could be a gateway to, you know, getting into more professional sim racing. Now, what confused me about that is because R Factor 2 tweeted this. Maybe they're helping develop the app, I don't know. I have to find more information. It's been hard too. But yeah. So there are 3 new leagues that I'm bet none of you knew about. Maybe some of you did, but again, and I know I'm guilty of this too, we are so bad at letting you know what's happening in the world. We're so bad at keeping you updated, letting you know the results, giving you highlights, planning things. I'm trying to change that, but so does the rest of the industry, because we're just terrible. All right, some results from the world. Some results from the world of sim racing. Moritz Luna. He is top class. He is the Porsche Esports Carrera Cup champion. Incredible feeling to have pole position, race 1 and 2 victory, and €7,000 Euro more in my bank account. He drives for Williams Esports, and there he is. He won the German competition, so well done to Moritz. And I wouldn't mind €7,000 in my pocket either. That's a decent amount of money for not a bad day's worth of work. If you're more of a rally fan, have I got something for you? Dirt Rally 2, the Dirt Rally 2 World Series, is returning for 2020. It's already started. Like I said, some of this stuff is old news, but that's why I'm doing shorter podcasts from here on in. But there is a $10,000 rally prize pool and a $10,000 rallycross prize pool. So if you like both, that's potential for 20 grand. Maybe you're only good at rallycross. You're still good for 10 grand. So everyone's covered. Drive a real life, and one of the cool prizes is to drive a real life QEV rallycross car. That's an electric vehicle car. So that's pretty goddamn exciting. And for everyone that qualifies in game, you will receive the Fiesta R5 Mark II. It started on the 25th of August. That was for rally in round 1. The 4th round of round 1, qualifying final 1 is actually next week. Round 2 qualifiers start on the 29th of September in Spain. Then there's round 3 qualifiers, and the playoffs will start in December. Rallycross, same thing. Round 2 quali starts on the 29th, and playoffs in December. So if you're a Dirt Rally 2 fan, been looking for some competition, there's you go. Don't miss out. You've still got 2 more rounds, so have a crack. There's some good money up for grabs in that one. Now, Le Mans. The Le Mans Esports Series has sort of been on hiatus because of COVID, and so was Le Mans. This was supposed to take back earlier than when it was, whenever the 24-hour race is on, usually July, I think. I can't remember. So anyway, people have qualified. So the first super final is on the 15th of September. That's actually, well, for me, right now, today. So they're using the pre-1970s. Then on Wednesday, segment 2, 1970s and 80s. And then it goes on to Thursday, 90s and 2000s. Segment 4 will be 2010 and plus. So yeah, looking forward to this. Usually they stream these things on Twitch and the like. So yeah, I don't have the link or anything. Like I said, this is what I mean. We're bad at giving you information. Like, just look, here's a race. Figure out where to watch it. So yeah, I'll keep you updated with who wins at the end of this as well. So don't forget, it starts this weekend if you're watching this episode as soon as I get it out, basically. Just before we get into our big topic, I want to talk about this. Now, I just saw this tweet it was about a month ago now, and it just said this. So for those on the audio, listen in. It just said this: superhuman performance in Gran Turismo Sport using deep reinforcement learning. And I had a few links, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. Now, if you are on the audio, I will put the description to this video in the description. Go check it out when you've got an opportunity, but there's enough talking and action in this video that we can actually just listen in. So it says here, superhuman performance in Gran Turismo Sport using deep reinforcement learning, and it has some credits: Florian Fuchs, Yanlong Song, Eliak Kaufman, Davide Skamutza, and Peter Durr, University Zurich, and Sony. So have a look at this, guys. Gran Turismo Sport replay.
What you can see here is not a human driver. This is our fully autonomous agent controlling a race car close to its friction limits. In this work, we propose a reinforcement learning-based approach for controlling race cars in Gran Turismo Sport.
Basically, what he's saying is AI. Absolutely mad.
Agent learned to drive trajectories similar to those of human experts, to outperform all of over 50,000 human reference drivers.
50,000 different drivers, and this AI learned from them and then flogged them. Look how methodology is the next chapter.
We train a neural network policy with a reinforcement learning algorithm called Soft Actor Critic. Our approach learns to map observation from the Gran Turismo simulation to direct control commands.
So basically, it's got a little paragraph here. It says 4 Sony PlayStation 4s, and it's got some parameters. It's got the simulation 4 times 20 cars. So 4 times 2 is 8. So 80 cars. Don't know why I had to do that. Anyway, car states, and then it has feature extraction, and it's measuring its distance to the boundaries from around it. And then it says Gran Turismo API, so that's just programming speak to access different modules and things happening within the game. So it could be the timing data, the grip data, tire wear, fuel, things like that. So you can program your own little program to read that stuff, and it has observations, and it's looking at things like CPU inference, the replay buffer. I really don't know what it all means. Control signals is one that I do, what you're doing at any single moment. And that's all done on a PC, and then it links back to these consoles.
Such as the steering angle and the applied level of throttle and brake. To evaluate our approach, we separately train agents for 2 car models and 2 different track layouts.
Agents is the AI.
To validate the performance of our approach, we invited a human domain expert we will refer to as TG to participate in our experiment. Here you can see
Domain expert, a real world driver that was probably at an FIA World Finals at some point.
a direct comparison between our approach on the left and TG driving on the right.
So it's now comparing two side by side. Like you said, on the left it's the AI, and on the right it's the real world driver.
Side.
Just look how much more confident.
Our approach drives an aggressive strategy, maximizing the radius of driven curves and therefore maintaining high speeds through.
Base, again, as you can see if you're watching the video, our computer driver has used every single inch available, and we're on one of the Tokyo Expressway tracks. So if you're familiar with GT Sport, it's like Monaco, walls everywhere. It's literally using every inch, where the real world driver has given himself a bit of play. But the speed is what's the massive difference already. At the exact, well, pretty much same point, he's doing 215, the computer, the real world 210 kilometers an hour. So already slower.
Throughout the track.
Quicker already by about 4/10. Look how close it got to that wall. As you can see, their trajectory into the tunnel here as we go down the hill is very similar, but our real world driver way behind. He tagged the wall, mistakes happen, AI, well, get it all right all the time. And look again how far he went across. Real world driver did as well, but definitely not to the extent that this AI did.
Thus, our approach manages to outperform the human expert in all segments of the track.
Look at that. Insane. Again, the speed. Looking at the speed. It's close, but it's always slower for the real world. Surpassing human players.
We compared achieved performance to a dataset of over 50,000 human competitors provided by Gran Turismo manufacturer Polyphony Digital. We achieved superhuman performance on all tested tracks and cars. You can here see a comparison for the track and car seen in the previous footage.
What's interesting here is if people learn how to do this to cheat to, I don't know, qualify, there's going to be data that they will be the anomaly in that data set. So it could help, I don't know, find out who is cheating. But also it could be used to cheat. So, but this also, I think, backs up that notion I've always said, especially with Gran Turismo. It happens all the time. When you're practicing a lap and you just get pixel perfect, that's all they do. They're so good at it, you know. And yeah, the AI sort of just backs that up. There's really one best way to do it, and that's sort of backwards because that's racing. There's one best way to be the quickest. When you take the randomness out of it, it hurts that it's just that's all it is really. It says here, the AI drives very aggressively, but I think this is only possible through its precise actions. I could technically also drive the same trajectory, but in 99 out of 1,000 cases, me trying that trajectory results in a crash, which destroys my whole lap, and I would have to start a new lap from scratch. Quote by the GTS expert player. So yeah, that's a great point. He can drive to a limit that he knows he will still be okay, but if he is to drive as aggressive as the AI can on that those 99 cases that he makes a mistake, he's the slowest now. So, yeah, it's the real world is a toss-up between, risk and reward.
When asked about the performance of our approach, TG said the following. Me trying that trajectory results in... As you can see in this footage, our agent was also able to learn difficult driving maneuvers, including driving a hairpin curve on our second reference track.
Look at that line, perfect racing line there. In the Audi, by the way. Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Never seen that done before, and it sort of just popped up out of nowhere. So I thought I should show that off. So there you go, superhuman performance in Gran Turismo Sport using deep reinforcement. Where this goes for sim racing and esports, I don't know, but an interesting thing. And if you want to see the video, it's in the link. I have absolutely slammed this game for the main reason that it changed direction from simulator to an arcade game, and it kept the Project Cars moniker. It kept the Project Cars name. Now, I think the only reason they did that was to give Project Cars this game credit where credit is not due, to help sales. Right. And from the very, very, very beginning of us learning about this game, Nathan Bell, the CEO of Slightly Mad Studios, and his entire team, and those big influencers, well, probably not his influencers, but definitely the entire team of SMS, have always stated, it's a sim, it's a sim, it's a simulator. Actually, some of the influencers did also say it's a sim. It's not. Now, I will get to the reason why he thinks it's still a sim, and I think there's two reasons. One of them not so obvious. One of them might be. But it took me a little bit of thinking out, because I had a short conversation with him and it was infuriating. This guy is just stubborn. And that's part of the problem. Alright. Project Cars 3. Has it been a success? Probably not. Why? Because you've just turned your back on an entire franchise of players that have supported you from 1 and 2. Even if you gave money, bought their games, gave them, stuck by them, whatever it was. There's a lot of different reasons for people to be feeling hurt. For me, Project Cars 1 was the game that got me into sim racing, and to see it go from a sim racing focused game where they loved sim racing, loved everything about it, got me into, the technical side of setups, made that accessible because they had these really detailed setup pages and stuff. To see it go from that to what number 3 is just, it's an insult. And I haven't been alone in feeling this. There's been a lot in the community that also feel the same way. Now, I've just opened up player numbers for right now. And every time I have checked in the past, they have been lower than Project, the new game. Project Cars 2 came out 3 years ago. Let's check them live as I'm recording. Let's see what's happening. And it will shock you, actually, that what these numbers look like, if I'm right. Because there might be some of you that enjoy Project Cars 3, and that is fine. I've probably already annoyed you, and you probably already turned off this podcast if you were listening. But no, it's fine to this, but I'm going to explain why the community's annoyed and, yeah, why we feel that way. Here we go. So let's have a look at this. Project Cars 3. Here we go. Project Cars 3 Steam charts. Here we go. Players right now, 106. Oh, that's the worst I've seen it. 24-hour peak, 419. Its all-time peak 18 days ago, which is about when the game was launched, 1,218. Now, this doesn't include consoles clearly, but this gives us a really good indication of what it's going to be like on the others. This is not good. This is bad. 106. This game just came out. Let's go Project Cars 2. Steam charts. It's 389 right now. And it's 24-hour peak, 1,301. So clearly, this is at the exact same time. 3 times the amount of players. And this game's 3 years old. And its all-time peak, 3 years ago is when the game came out, 6,775. That should tell you all you need to know. Its 24-hour peak, Project Cars 2, is higher by 3 times, again, than Project Cars 3's 24-hour peak. People are just not playing this game. So, I don't know why SMS have turned their back on everyone. And the way they went around of it, oh my god. No wonder no one's playing it. And I'll show you why. Okay. So let's start where this slideshow was started. It's a tweet. It says, "Mate, Nathan Bell, online marketing director or at SMS, is literally a moderator of your stream. Don't be surprised people don't trust your opinion, especially when you're actually sprouting their marketing almost word for word, which we have seen to be false. Your opinion is biased." He was talking to Actrovision, a very talented streamer, very talented commentator, and very successful too. The way this guy... Now, I don't know you, man, but Luke, I have looked up. You've been a sort of a mentor, because you're just a little bit older than me, but you've shown that, you know, with hard work and perseverance, even at the age we're at, we can still find success in a new industry. And your passion for esports is just insane. While I don't always agree with some of your values for esports, because I think, and it's not a bad thing, it doesn't line up with mine. Yeah, I still highly respect what you've done, but I watched what you did with Project Cars 3, and it was the wrong way to go about it. And the reason I think you might have been like this is, I don't know, one, you've probably got a very good working relationship with Slightly Mad and the team that made Project Cars. I don't know. And clearly when you're, you know, playing the game, you're there to enjoy it. Nathan pops in, says hi. That might just be, you know, a friendly... But you've got to then think about how that looks from an outsider's point of view. Yeah, I don't think you were paid at all, but I think you've had such a professional working relationship with Project Cars. Some of the way you might handle situations, or have seen Project Cars handle situations, might have influenced the way you've handled this. Now, I in no way condone what people did, death threats, calling your names, all that other bullshit that happened. I wouldn't. That is just absolutely stupid over a video game. But yeah, I think you lost sight of what these people are seeing in. And I have to agree with Outro. What he said there wasn't really aggressive, but he just, look at the response. Busted by you two. Christ, grow up. Too much internet for you kids. You've just got to take this stuff on the chin, man. You knew people didn't like this game. So you didn't even have to reply. And I know it's hard, because I've had people say dumb shit to me that I didn't like. You've just got to... But that's the thing, if you don't like it, doesn't mean they're wrong either. Anyway, Matt Hunter, here's another reply. Actually, most of us are watching Jimmy rip it to shreds. As someone who tried hard to support this franchise in the early days with little to no dev support, I'm really disappointed in the continued blinkered response to your pre-existing fan base. And that's a fantastic, and I think sums up the example of why a lot of us are pissed off. It says it right there. I'm really disappointed in the continued blinkered response to your pre-existing fan base. It would have been fine to make this game, just call it anything but Project Cars. Christ. And yeah, like you kept saying it was a sim. What were you thinking? Again, this is from Luke's stream. This is Nathan Bell, you know, commenting in the stream. It, like, you've just got to think how that looks, right? Yes, there were people that enjoyed it, but there were also a lot of people that would, like, there were just people coming in saying it's a bad game. Just ignore it, man. Don't fuel that fire. I think that was your issue. So anyway, live now, just chatting motorsport games, whatever you like. Matt Hunter said, if someone posts a comment with a valid critique of the game, the professional thing to do isn't to call them out. The game isn't what many expect. That's the fact. The sooner devs and their clearly paid support channels accept that not everyone agrees with them, the better. Now, I don't agree with that last paragraph, clearly paid support channels. Obviously, you're not. But what he says at the top is exactly what I'm trying to say. I saw many people come in, some of them not so professional, but some did critique the game negatively. You clearly didn't like that, and you were just, you were just like, you're negative, blah blah blah, and I think it's hurt the game more, to be honest. And then posting stuff like this, dude. He said, I may stream some more Project Cars 3 today into the evening to see how many more people who cannot think for themselves I can trigger. Hashtag not an ag, and add, and it's got that feminist picture, and it has the comment, the meme word that says triggered. Like, if I made Project Cars 3, I would be distancing myself from you now, man. Like, I get backing up something you enjoy, but, like, and I'm gonna, like, but can you, I don't know, do people agree with me? Do they not? Like, it's okay not to like something, and it's okay to like stuff as well. It's been many weeks since I've thought about Project Cars 3, and I forgot how, I just forgot how like passionate I was about the game. I was looking forward to Project Cars 3 because I love Project Cars 2. Really did. But this was the stuff I didn't agree with at all. And if you did send this guy, Luke, or Actual Vision, if you did send him nasty tweets or death threats, just think about what you're doing. That one, that's a criminal offense, and two, you don't know how that's going to affect someone else. Like, there's someone else at the end that's reading that and taking that personally. I know sometimes that's hard, like that's easy to forget when you're writing a comment, but like Luke has worked so hard to get where he's gotten. He's put in so much effort for sim racing. There's probably a good portion of people that have joined sim racing, watching his streams and joined his leagues, that are now, you know, content creators themselves or promoting sim racing because of what he's done. Like, just because he likes a game we don't think's a sim, even though he says it is, it doesn't mean you give the guy bloody death threats. Anyway, he said, never had a day like today because I was positive about a game. I received abuse about how I am paid. I do not get paid by any game company to say good things, all because I have a different opinion to theirs. Not only did I receive abuse, but DMs from people I have never met. telling me they are going to make sure everything I have ever worked for is taken away. Threats against my work, and worse, threats against my family. That is disgusting. It's a game. Don't push me. You won't. I mean, in the context, in the situation that's going on, it's fair enough that he said that, but future civilizations are going to look back on how the early internet was, and they're just going to be like, wow, it was like medieval times. Hopefully the internet gets better. But this is continuing on from the culture, I think, is in SMS. Like, and it could be a psychology thing as well. They've invested so much time and energy into this new direction that it's going to work. Like, there is nothing else. Like, we're right, you're wrong. And that was coming across very clearly, especially in their tweets. Sai here said, shout out to the SMS Project Cars employee who quoted my tweet about them, then blocked me. Truth hurts, don't it, fellas? Yeah. I don't know what he said, because I couldn't find it. Nathan Bell, just responding to that death threat situation. He said, never under any circumstances is this acceptable. Whatever happened to live and let live, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Let the man have his. And he did. But the problem was sometimes he wasn't really accepting of others' opinions. And this was the stupid, ironic game that was playing out on the internet, and like, yeah. All right. And you could see it from other influences as well. So let's take this tweet thread for example. I'm not a fan of the physics. Say, for example, you're trail braking into a chicane, making a left turn. You get off the power and to right, but the rear says drift, nope, and the car goes straight. Having to relearn to drive, basically. Not a fan of the career, graphics, and then it stopped. Anyway, response. What I really don't get is the obvious graphics downgrade, and I'm not speaking about the shaders. The actual 3D models seem to be worse. How does that happen? Copy, paste, fail, wrong, LOD import. The Kai, possibly a lot less people working on game due to 2 projects taking place at the same time. My guess, mate. So maybe stuff may get improved over the next few months. Not sure. I'm sure they will improve it over time. I don't think they enjoy the kind of attention they're getting at the moment. So you can see, like, people are quite capable of having civil conversations about it. And then this. I've had it for days, mate. Hence my opinion on the game. Played the game for about 15 plus hours or so far. Yeah, let me know if you're still playing this in 1 month's time. Why not? Probably will, along with AECC, GT Sport and many others. We'll see what we'll see. Not really understanding your point here. Go look how long I played Drive Club. This type of game is fun and I tend to stick with them. Just don't give them fuel. Just stop talking to them. But it also comes across that your opinion is wrong, I am right. I know probably we're both doing it. But no one here is sort of just accepting the fact that, yeah, you like it and I hate it. Let's just move on with our lives. And this, I think for those influencers that probably have a professional relationship with SMS, and it comes from SMS, and it's trickled down to the influencers, and I don't even think they're fully aware that that's how they look from the outside. Now, Ian Bell, the CEO, this is why people are more pissed off as well, because he kept saying it's a sim. Let's read. It's using an updated version of the full Project Card 2 physics. We've just removed tire wear and fuel use as it fits the game better, so it's a sim. How? With lots of arcade gameplay elements to deliver. Big on, quote, fun. The force feedback has been polished, and the pad play is revolutionary. Reply from Chris. Not really. It's more arcade with a few sim elements. I really don't understand why you persist on pushing the term sim so much. It's an arcade game. Just hope it's better than your attempt with the Fast and Furious title. That game is freaking terrible. Ian Bell. It's all of the handling of Project Cars 2 and more, with tyre wear removed. So it's absolutely a sim. In a market awash with lots of hardcore sims, we felt it was time that people had a simulation and had fun at the same time. This is the crap that people are hating you for. You are putting us down for the same shit you enjoyed in the first 2 Project Cars. People like hardcore sims. People like arcade games. Just because they don't like arcade games doesn't mean they're wrong. Obviously the other way around too. Just because they like sims doesn't mean they're wrong either. That's what they like. But when you keep telling people that, nah, this game's better because, you know, full arcade's boring, then what were the first 2 frickin' games? Did you think they were boring too? This is why people hate you right now. And obviously the Codemasters thing didn't help. Alright. Now, Alright. Okay. I actually got to talk to the guy on Twitter, and I was hoping he would sort of... I got frustrated with him, and I had to end it pretty quickly. But he tweeted this, right? This is from 2018, people. Enjoy the game. And basically, it was a post on GT Planet, and he was kept sprouting, it'll be a spiritual successor to Need for Speed Shift. So it'll be more arcadey and, you know, but still sim. And yes, he's been saying that for a long time. And I said to him, agree, you've always said this from the get-go, and very early on too. But you also use the word sim, or full sim, to describe Project Cars 3. Is it wrong to assume this might have caused people to think the game would be closer to Project Cars 2 than Shift when it comes to handling? Because I definitely did, and holy shit, he went through and deleted his entire Twitter account he deactivated it about a week prior and deleted every tweet he'd ever tweeted. I had to go use like Google Archive and crap to find these tweets because I remember reading them and I'm like, where the frick are they? Anyway, so I posted this picture along with it, and it says all this. These are all the times he said the word full sim or simulation. He said here, it's a full simulation with a fun career and second-to-second fun affirmations. It's an upgrade to the full Seater engine, which is their tyre model, with better force feedback and AI. And, if that's arcade, then so be it. Another one, Project Cars 3 is a game changer. All of the sim you could want with all of the fun you could want. Handling is massively improved, input on pads is transformed, and force feedback is amazing. The career mode is massively involved. I hope you all enjoy. We're proud here. And then another one. No need to apologize, mate. We know that we have something special and we have more of a full sim and more of an accurate full sim than anything I've played before. For those that want it, we have simply lowered the barrier to entry. And you're just like, what the frick, dude? Yeah, here's the first response. He said, we're using the full physics updated from Project Cars 2. We just cut tyre wear as it doesn't fit the game. And I said, so, quotes, sim in this context means the physics systems developed throughout Cars 1 and 2 was the baseline for 3? Question. Can you see how that can be misleading, though, as sim in the traditional motorsport context has these things, e.g. tyre wear? Because that's what he kept going on about, regardless of the scope for Cars 3. So what I was trying to say was, because we don't get a lot of time to tweet, was, so you want to make an arcade game, why can't an arcade game include these things too if you want to maintain the sim aspect? And he said, nope, Grand Prix Legends and many other sims had no tyre wear. We were very vocal about the vision from the off, too early. And I was just freaking furious after I read this. I was just like, I can't talk to this guy. He is just that set in his ways that he is not willing to compromise. Just not at all. Like, this is it, and this is what's going to happen. You cannot tell me otherwise. And so for him, basically, a simulator for him is the physics. If the car shifts weight when you turn a corner, you know, or when you accelerate, the car lurches back, If hitting the accelerator makes it go and the brake makes it stop and the gravity keeps the car to the ground, then it's a sim. Forget the rest of the other crap that makes it a simulation. This is a sim, and that's what he meant by sim. I figured it out. That is Ian Bell, the CEO of SMS and the executive director at Codemasters. That is his definition of sim. It can't be anything else. But what is the definition of sim, guys? It's a question that I think needs to be formally defined and written down. Because this game has caused such a division. It's a shitty looking game. I don't like the look of it, but you know. But yeah, I just said thanks for the brief chat. I've definitely gained some new insight into Project Cars 3 and the ideology behind it. I was just like, dude, this guy does not want to. He doesn't want to talk about it. He just wants to tell me how right he is. And this is the culture I was talking about. This is the culture I was talking about. Here he is. Again, Project Cars game change, all the sim you could want, all of the fun. Him in a mask, this bold dude. But these tweets don't exist anymore. I had to go find them. And to me, that's... You're obviously hiding something, man. Why would you hide something on the week of, you know, launch week? Anyway. Here's some more examples. Social media response. They've got... Obviously, this was after the game's released, and again, they still couldn't get over it. And this is why I don't think people are buying the game, guys. And it's been your attitude leading up to it, telling us where sim races are crap, turning it back on an established audience, and then again, still committing that we're wrong. Just, I don't know. Yeah. Well, he got a bite there. A lot of people, look at this. All players who expect an update to improve the graphics quality, especially on the base console, PS4 and Xbox, please, the game is great. So people like it, but graphics clearly aren't the best thing in the world. Absolutely hate driving in the rain, especially when every single player race turns to rain. Haha, live track, why for Magic Tires, and from devs who don't care about their Project Cars 1 and 2 player base of all people who bought into the game originally. Community-assisted racing simulator. Also, get unknowns to publish an article when they have not played any other decent sims. They don't listen to community. Now the game turned grid game dead. So sad. Here's another long thread, but this Fernando is the social media manager for SMS, basically. It started off with still avoiding the topic of how badly this needs a patch then. He said, "Hi Jay, just because we haven't addressed you directly doesn't mean we're ignoring a specific topic. Perhaps you can consider spending your time on social media doing more positive things rather than attempting to provoke a response from a brand account." What the fuck response is that? Dude, calm down. Like, see how butthurt they get? Like, AKA, praise the game, no criticism allowed. And this, my friends, has been the problem since pre-launch, launch, and after launch. If you say a single bad thing about Project Cars 3, you're wrong. It just annoys me because I can sit here and I'm not going to get triggered if people like Project Cars 3. That's whatever, that's up to you. But in my mind and in my opinion, it is not a simulator and it's an arcade game. Okay, doesn't mean it doesn't mean I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, you're such an idiot for liking it." But when you get responses like this from even bloody the support, like the brand account, like holy shit. We're always open to criticism, otherwise we wouldn't be able to improve. The key difference being, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Looks like a man who is up to his neck in frustration. Give him a break. He paid money for a game he wants to enjoy. Otherwise, he wouldn't be calling out for improvements. Fernando responds, and that is absolutely understandable. But engaging in good faith and some polite manners goes a really long way. I mean, fair enough, but I don't have an opinion, he says, as I haven't played it. But I follow what used to be my favourite franchise because I might buy it next year. And then another one. Prefer to give it a go in a game that has tire wear and fuel management. And then Project Cars 3 posted Will Smith presenting Project Cars 2. They are obviously so sick of people saying that they're just like, go play our old game. It's better. And they are. People are still playing it, and that's absolutely fine. But holy hell, man. And then this is a great... Someone said, passion for the first race on the Road A series is glitched. I start on a rolling start, and as soon as I get to drive myself, it comes up invalid. Now, watch this one. We're aware some players are experiencing difficulties with that particular career event. A fix is currently being worked on and should be implemented as soon as possible. And then, like, that tweet came out a million times an hour. There was just just the way they respond to people. Where is day one patch? Today, September 5th. We've already released the day one patch. Further necessary updates are coming. This guy said, try keep the community updated with these supposedly upcoming patches and you might see less vitriol on your tweets. Game has released in a pitiful state. And I think it did. And I don't know what it's like at the moment because I don't have it and I'm not going to buy it until maybe it's $2 in a bargain bid. Another response. Nobody cares. Fix the damn game. Add in more shit so I can customize my car and like select different spoilers and only adding a paint job. Yeah, they hyped up that customize option, but I don't think it's as incredible as they made it sound. Another one. The game looks awful on Xbox One. Graphics are bad. It's almost if you were playing an Xbox 360 game. Another one. M on PlayStation 4. Looks like a mobile game. In a rain condition, all cars look like they're floating. It's a shame. James Everett, I think I'm sitting second right now. 22 attempts left to push for that top spot. Let's do this. Loving the rivals right now. This one said, so obviously people that enjoy it. This one, Enrique, best feature of this game, uninstall. Yeah, just there's a lot of people complaining about it. A lot of people not happy with it. And look at this. Look at these graphics. God, it looks like a bad Photoshop job. Let's have a look at the charts, shall we? So Project Cars 3, for its launch week, on all platforms, hit 17th. I guess is alright. Then on PlayStation 4, on its launch week, hit 13th. So, surprising it didn't get the top 10. And then on Xbox, 19th. So all the launch dates have been in the top 20 at least. And then Project Cars 3 on Xbox. Sorry, that was PC. And then on Xbox, 7th. So it did the best on Xbox. It seems to be the most casual players on Xbox. I don't know why that is, but it just seems to be the way how it goes. And then every week after that, it didn't make it into the top 40 for the all platforms, and for PC, PS4, and Xbox, it was outside the top 20, so it didn't make it. So it has not been a good launch. I don't think the game has been successful at all. And just the way they have gone about creating this culture of just anyone who, you know, has anything negative to say about our game is wrong and against us. And yeah, just I don't know why they did it, but I figured out that Ian Bell, a sim for him just means the car behaves in a sort of realistic way, or just there's a physics model behind it. I don't know, that is somewhat emulated on a real world. It doesn't look like we're going to get any changes there. Automobilista 2 is going to be the Project Cars 3 that never comes. So, because I love that game. And as I said, guys, sorry about it taking so long to go from episode 2 to 3. But once any new bits of information come out from here on in, I'm going to do short, sweet episodes. So, and whether they're all video, I don't know, but they'll definitely be all audio. So, thanks for listening. This has gone quite long, almost an hour and a half. And It has been a pleasure to talk all things sim racing. Let me know about anything you think. It's getting quite late here, as you can see my light. I had to turn my light on because it's getting quite dark outside. I was talking for that long. But, yeah. Thanks for listening in, guys. My name's Josh Gain. Don't forget to visit demo1garage.com. Got some more content on there. I do commentary on the YouTube, Facebook channels as well. My Twitter's at Demo1G. But this has been the Sim Racing Podcast, episode 3. I'll see you in episode number 4.